This was 19 hours ago, after Wendell released all of those videos with GN. Buildzoid's like, hey, can you give me the VID table for a 13700T? He literally doesn't know what a VID table is. He doesn't know what it is. How I want to start this off is by saying the hardware landscape as a whole is way worse than I thought, just like the title. It's really nice to see all the comments saying thank you. For anyone that watch, it's fantastic because that makes me want to help more. Now, I also want to start off by saying thanks to all the newcomers in the Discord from the last video. We got a shit ton of new people in there. And they're all fucking super awesome and posting their animal pics and following all the rules. And they seem to be happier than a pig and shit to be here too. So that's awesome. Welcome all the new people. Now, with all the new people that came into the Discord, actually, oddly enough, we had 2 people with degraded Ryzen CPUs. And I was saying in the last video, this isn't an Intel only problem. This has been a problem since Zen 2. I actually had one of the guys with the degraded Ryzen CPU buy a consult, and I just fixed it the other day. His CPU, it was a 7950. Let me reiterate this. AMD 3D CPU okay. I'm talking about the ones that have the single core boost shit, right? Sorry. 7950 X3D and 7900 X3D still have single core boost shit. So the degraded ones were 7950Xs. So anyway, long story short, I did the consult for the guy last week, and his 7950X was blue screening, idling, like this is the same shit that I showed you guys, and it had a device state power blue screen. Power state device blue, something about a power state device, right? Super weird blue screen. Anyway, his CPU was trying to boost to 5.7 gigahertz with 1.47 volts. So I legit had to downclock that guy's CPU to 5.3 and like 1.32 volts, and then it worked. Like it was fucked, dude. When CPUs degrade en masse, ignore publicly and just RMA silently. And I think that's what Intel is going to do for this one as well, because what's the alternative? No, like actually, like what alternatives are there that doesn't cost them more money than this? If you think about it, if they make a public statement, their market share goes down, their shareholders, or their stock price, I should say, Intel stock price, 1 month. Yeah, it's fine. It's up overall over the last month. So all this pitter patter from GN and all these other tech tubers, Linus said it best, right? And in the WAN show, Linus said that the tech tube space as a whole is basically insignificant. Like completely insignificant. So all this like kicking and sputtering from all these tech tubers and all these people saying, oh, Intel degradation, all the comments saying buy AMD, it means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. GN knows this too. GN said one of the venture capitalists has to get involved in order for there to actually be any change, right? Which that's not going to happen either. So people have to put it this way. Here, put it this way. Asmongold has a larger following than all of TechTube. Or like Aiden Ross. Or XQC. Or PewDiePie. Joe Rogan. Name an influencer and they are larger than the entirety of TechTube. That's how small we are. That's how insignificant we are, right? That's why I always say, we just need to take care of ourselves out here. It's every man for himself, right? My Discord and my community, I take care of them. We just take care of ourselves. All these fucking problems all these people have sounds like a you problem, okay? Doesn't sound like a me problem. Nothing bad ever happens if you're in my community. Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, is Intel screwed? Absolutely not. If they so they can't make statement, they'll lose stock price. If they release microcode or BIOS updates to lock all the cores and downclock the boost, now they have a class action lawsuit saying you falsely advertised the product and sold it to the public and then changed the specs later. So they can't do that. That's going to cost them more money than just RMAing the CPU over and over until the warranty period is over, right? So there's no course of action that Intel can take that would cost them less money than just ignoring it and just refunding people per CPU that come in for RMA. The level of TechTuber knowledge is way worse than I thought. Now, I you have to understand that there's a principle of, it's called first mover advantage slash adopter. First mover slash adopter advantage. Anytime there's a new market segment, like Nvidia has first mover advantage into AI. They had first mover advantage into DLSS. Like Nvidia always has first mover advantage, right? Twitch had first mover advantage for the live streaming space. Now nobody can compete, right? That's what I mean by first mover advantage. All the large tech tubers out there had first mover advantage. They started doing TechTube at a time when there was no competition, and they got so large that they became de facto authorities. So if somebody with a first mover advantage, this goes for all industries, all of them, right? First mover advantage. Like take Shroud, for example. He's another one, right? There could be like 100 guys that are way better than him in every single way, shape, or form, but he was first. So he's the authority. That's kind of how social media kind of works, right? Now, the biggest problem with first mover advantage is that nobody has the authority to call them out, essentially, right? For misinformation, bad information, because they are so large that they can just say that guy is wrong, and then the dog pile, right? It's again like that for every fucking industry. That's why I never worried about becoming large. I always just worried about providing correct information and taking care of my own, right? So like everybody knows that Linus, he like rushes his employees and they put out bad information, and then Gamers Nexus actually went after them for that, right? Which is fucking ironic as shit, right? But GN using old CPU benchmark data from years prior, DDR4 3200, all that fucking misinformation, Hardware Unboxed, not knowing what Gear 2 was, silently fixing his website without telling anybody, and all this like fucking shady ass shit. Jay using GPU bound scenarios for CPU benchmarks. It's a complete clusterfuck of misinformation. But again, nobody has the authority to do anything about it. You as the viewer have to take care of yourself. Protect yourself from misinformation. That's all you can do about it. Dude, even me, I don't have a voice whatsoever, dude. Whatsoever. I mean fucking nothing, right? All I can do is take care of myself and my audience, right? Now, if you want even more evidence of it's worse than we thought, Wendell, the guy that all the other guys go to for expert info, didn't even know what a VID table doesn't. This is present tense. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, let me be clear about one thing. This is not an attack on people's character. I'm sure all these guys are wonderful guys to have beers with. Just dudes. Like, I'm sure it's like their characters probably all fucking legit, right? This is a criticism of knowledge, hardware, tech knowledge in our fucking space. This was literally okay. Before I hang on, what? Okay, look at this. Here, this was 19 hours ago. As this, look at the dates down here. This was 19 hours ago, after Wendell released all of those videos with GN. Buildzoid's like, hey, can you give me the VID table for a 13700T? He literally doesn't know what a VID table is. He doesn't know what it is. So it's way worse than I thought. I thought, see, when Wendell was like, the 7950 X3D works just fine, I was like, okay, I'll just chalk that one up to he's not a gamer. Because that was terrible advice. And then I see this shit, I'm like, oh, it's bad out there. It's that boys. These are the people that are running the tech tube hardware space. That's fucking insanity. Anyway, so this was the entire reason I started my YouTube channel, by the way. I'm watching all these guys wanting to just blow my brains out at all the misinformation, and I saw that nobody was doing anything about it. Because let's be fair, you have to have a certain personality type to like go against the narrative, right? It's like I'm this one guy screaming out against all these fucking OGs, right? Calling them all incompetent. Like, not many people are gonna have the balls to do that and then look at them in the face at conventions and confront them and shit, right? It's very confrontational. It's not most people can't do that shit, right? Now, that's the reason why I started my YouTube channel. I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. Fucking whatever the hell Gandhi said, right? I'm like, okay, if nobody is gonna be sorting these guys out, I guess I have to fucking do it now. I guess I'm doing it. And here's your fucking evidence. The guy that the expert in the industry doesn't know what a VID table is. There you go. So how the hell is he going to troubleshoot server farms when he doesn't know what to look for? They don't know what to look for. So anyway, that's just add Wendell to the list of guys that have just don't know what the fuck they're doing in terms of hardware. Again, I'm sure they're all good guys to have beers with. It's just somebody needs to address the lack of knowledge and the spread of misinformation out there. Billzoid actually had a good post here. Yeah, Billzoid is one of those guys that actually knows what he's doing, oddly enough, but he's just like, he just doesn't have the patience to deal with fucking idiots all the time. So he's just like always one step away from just like ending his shit, right? So Billzoid's, I guess, looking at VID tables now, which is the right way to go. That's how you diagnose the fucking problem. You look at the VID tables, right? So VID voltages of a super micro blade server running a 1400K in single core loads. Exactly what I was talking about. So we click on this, we open the photo, copy image. I wonder if Paint will be able to, yeah. Check this out. Zoom in right here for you guys. What do you see? Right here. What do you see? So you see those two cores that I was talking about are getting shoved 1.5 volts into them. And the rest of all the cores have 1.4, which is still high, but not like suicide high. Right? They've all been kissing 1.5 at a certain point, right? Now, what happens when you lock all the cores, like I was saying? They all come down to 1.4. Like these two, they go down to 1.4. They don't need to go to fucking that crazy dumb boosting shit, right? That's why it solves the problem, right? Just like I was saying. Anyone, the weird thing is, anyone. So I bet you even the XOC guys and the hardware enthusiasts can back me up on this one. As soon as you put a 14900K into your fucking desktop or your PC and you just look at what voltage it's spitting out of the box, you like right away you're like, that's not fucking good, right? So here's kind of where it changed, right? Now, this specific problem that we're talking about is CPU manufacturer's fault, but this isn't the first time we encountered something similar. System agent on DDR4 platforms. It's not the first time. Remember back when the 7700K, 8700K, 9700K, you would enable XMP 1.6 system agent? That was the motherboard's fault back then. So I'm assuming the reason why this wasn't very widespread in terms of degradation was because most people just don't enable XMP. So there was never an issue. Now the problem is out of the box. So even people that just put their shit and don't touch it, now they're being affected too. So now the problem is en masse. But we've always had problems of either the motherboard manufacturers or the CPU manufacturers shoving way too much fucking voltage into something to make it work. That's why us enthusiasts, we're not like, it's not. That's why when people watch my channel, they're like, why isn't this guy upset about this? And from my perspective, I'm like, this is just par for the course, man. It's like, yeah, we've been dealing with this shit for the last 10 years. It's not like CPU degradation and overvoltage is not like new information for us. We've been having to tune all of our systems back, like dial that shit down, yeah, for a decade now, right? The mainstream is aware of it now, but it's been a problem for 10 years. That's why I'm not too upset about it. I'm also not upset about it because my audience is taken care of. Anyone that watches my channel, they're taken care of. That's all I can do. Why would I be upset? It's like, yeah, guys. It's like people almost want me to be upset on their behalf. I'm not really that kind of guy. I'm more of the take care of yourself kind of guy. Yeah. I'm gonna come for all their lunch money. Because at the end of the day, the one thing I hate most than anything else in this world is misinformation and lying. I fucking hate it. I hate it. These large tech tubers, when they spread misinformation, they're doing it unknowingly, so I don't hate them. They've never had to be on the ground, is what I want to say. They've never had to have that much knowledge in order to do their jobs before. You know what I'm saying? So all this misinformation that they're spreading is not that they're not doing it intentionally to make money. Although the last video from GN, I will say, was on the borderline though, because the dude spent 30 fucking minutes talking about potential causes. Like, there was no value to that video whatsoever except to farm ad revenue. That I don't like. That's on the border of fucking... Now you're just fear-mongering shit. Now all of a sudden you're finding out that everything that I talked about... What trend are you starting to see? Whenever a new architecture or a new problem comes out, Jufus finds it within the fucking month of product launch and fixes the problem. My job is to make shit work. That's what I do. That's what I pride myself on. I pride myself on making shit just work for people that want to just play games. That's what I do, man. Cause I like just playing games, and I like my shit just working. That's what I do. That's all I do. That's why I have no competition. No one on the internet is as passionate as I am about fucking making shit work about playing games. Nobody. Dude, gaming has been my life since I was a kid. It's like everything, man. Like the shit just has to work. It has to just work. Well, let me catch up here. That's why anything that doesn't just work and I can't fix it, like AMD drivers, I get fucking super irate about that, right? This whole situation with Intel CPU, I can make it just work. That's why it's not as offensive to me, right? Things that I can't fix are very offensive when it comes to like playing games and shit, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to hardware, trust nothing, trust no one, trust no tech tuber, Reddit, forum, trust nothing. Take care of yourself. I don't know how else I can word that. It's as simple as that, guys. Just take care of yourself.